All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last What's the Buzz of 2025. Yes, this is the last one. Looking forward to our discussion today with Solver. This is the monthly chat that happens the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. on Zoom, on LinkedIn Live. So wherever you're joining from, welcome to the last one. So excited to have you here. And we're excited to talk all about AI, of course. Let's just, wrap up the year with AI because I'm sure AI is still going to be the buzzword in 2026 and maybe even beyond that. So very excited to have Stephanie and Liz here to talk all about how Solver is embracing AI in their solutions. So welcome, Liz and Stephanie.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. We're really excited to talk about this. It's a buzzword.
It is.
Very buzzworthy for what's the buzz.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So I'll let you guys take it away.
All right.
All right. So first off, let me maybe tell you a little bit about Solver and what we do. So at Solver, our mission is to accelerate intelligent decisions. So Solver is what we call an extended financial planning and analysis solution. That's XFP&A for short. And that's comprised of four key areas. So that's your reporting, your financial reporting, your operational reporting, analysis, so any type of dashboarding, visualizations, analytics, consolidation, whether that's a financial consolidation or data source consolidation, and your planning, your reporting and forecasting. And then sort of overarching within all of that, we have that intelligence layer, which is Solver Copilot, which we're going to be talking quite a bit more about in today's discussion.
Yes, thanks, Stephanie, for that great overview. And before we dive into more slides and talk more about AI, we are going to start with a video that gives you a little insight into our AI updates and our journey over the years. And pay close attention because you will notice our new tagline at the end once we play it. So let's go ahead and get started. So there it was, our updated tagline, accelerate intelligent decisions. And let's go to the next slide here. We have recently rebranded from accelerate better decisions to accelerate intelligence decisions to align with our AI first strategy for everything we are doing moving forward. And we unveiled that multifaceted AI strategy this summer at our annual conference, Ascend, in August. And so if you did not happen to see our press release about that and kind of what the future entails, we've included a QR code here for you to learn more about our AI strategy outside of what Stephanie and I are going to be talking about today.
Yes. So, sort of building on that and some of the announcements that we had at that Solver Ascend conference, this is a little bit of sort of how we've been preparing for the future. So we all know, of course, things are developing and changing so rapidly right now, especially in FP&A and with AI. So this is what that sort of at a high level roadmap and plan looks like for Solver. So starting in 2022, we really started focusing on automation. And with that, we released our quick start solution, as well as our pre-built reports and planning form. So that's just a way for users to quickly and efficiently, using wizard-driven connectors, get up and running in Solver without a long time-consuming process, so you can start immediately using that information and making intelligent decisions and actionable insights. From there, what we realized is we work across all industries. Solver as a solution is industry agnostic, but every industry is a little bit unique. The needs of a nonprofit organization is quite different from a manufacturing company. So we started to specialize along industries. So we've developed solutions specific to those industries so that you have models, knowledge, and a solver specialist that can support those specific industry needs. 2025, things really started ramping up with AI. That's when we first released our Solver Copilot for Help, which I'll show you a little bit later. And then from there, you can see some of the future AI developments. One that we just released as well is our Solver Copilot, our analysis agent, which is another agent that I'll show you today. And then we have future plans as well for task automation and planning. And our ultimate goal is by 2027, what we're going to see is that 80% of business is going to be aligned with verticals and AI powered as well.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of what Stephanie's saying, we had, I think, probably our biggest launch in Solver history last month with the release of our analysis agent for Solver Copilot. And so here's another press release that you can scan the QR code for and learn more about this. But Stephanie is actually going to be giving a quick demo of this today, and we'll be talking about additional ways for you to learn more about that. But this was a major step forward for Solver in our AI strategy. And it's really going to help customers more easily understand the data that they have in front of them and getting quick answers with this agent. So we're very, very excited about that.
Yes, absolutely. So just to break down in a little bit more detail some of the pillars of our overall AI strategy and what that looks like, there's 5 key areas just that I'm going to mention here briefly. The first is Solver Copilot, which is the experience layer. So this is what you're familiar with, right? If you're using ChatGPT or Copilot, this is that front end that you're having a conversation with. It's sort of that friendly face. So this is where when I go into Solver and I show you some examples, you'll see that this is that customer facing experience that you have with Solver Copilot. From there, we have the behind the scenes, the intelligence engine. So that's really the brains behind Solver AI. So that's that layer of proprietary AI that might have some of the various processes, knowledge, different engines in there that's giving us the output that we have within our Solver Copilot. From there, we have our agents. So those are the doers, those are the experts. They have their own area of expertise. They're autonomous agents and they get things done for us behind the scenes. So if I'm going to ask, for example, our analysis agent to give me a chart of some of the data that I want to analyze, there's going to be several agents behind the scene that are doing their magic, doing their work to determine like what's the right type of chart, how are we going to display that. So as our AI solution and our offering continues to expand, there's going to be more and more and more agents there working behind the scenes. So you have this whole team of autonomous agents doing work for you at any given time. Very important to all of that is the Solver data warehouse. So all of these workers, they rely on the data in the Solver data warehouse. This is the environment. This is where you have your unified data that is driving all of these insights. And of course, those insights are only as good as your data. So having a single source of truth with data that's trusted and structured in a way that can help drive those intelligent decisions, that's super critical to anything that we're doing within our AI strategy. And just in general, Solver, overall, our overarching philosophy is authentic intelligence. So that's a human first AI principle. We know we're not replacing human intelligence, but we're looking to augment that and do that in a way that's transparent and that is really always through the lens of accelerating intelligent decisions.
It's a lot of exciting things, and I am super excited to have you, Stephanie, take
Yes.
over here for a minute. I'll stop sharing so that we can show everybody what this looks like in action.
All right, so now I'm going to jump in here and give us a little demo in Solver. So let's go ahead here and share my screen. All right, so here we are in Solver. So this is basically my homepage within the Solver web portal. So as a user, when I log in, this is the first thing I'm going to see. Now, if you'll notice here, in this upper right-hand corner, this is how I access Solver Copilot. So let's say I'm a new user to Solver, and I mentioned a little bit earlier on how we have a quick start solution and some pre-built templates that allow you to get up and running quickly. Let's say maybe I want to ask a question about that. How do I use those tools? So I might go in here, open up Solver, and ask the help agent, how do I access Marketplace reports? So I'm going to go ahead and ask that question. And then the Solver help agent is going to give me directions and walk me through step by step how I go through accessing those marketplace templates. So now I can follow these steps, download some templates, and start to get up and running in Solver. So that's a good start, but let's say now I have a whole library of reports ready to go. I've been using Solver. I know in my particular role, one thing that I'm accountable for is the budget for my department. So let's say a very common thing, it's the end of the month, and we want to analyze our performance in our department, and we might be accountable to an executive team for this. So we want to make sure that everything within our budget, everything that's been posted for our actuals, that we understand exactly what's going on there and that our numbers are accurate. So I'm going to open up this report here. This is a monthly reporting package. And I'm going to go to a report here for my particular department. So this is my department 100. Now, in addition to doing my own analysis, because of course I want to first understand exactly what I'm looking at, I can call on the Solver analysis agent to help give me further insights, and so I can make sure I'm fully prepared and not missing anything important. So I'm going to go back here into Solver Copilot. I'm going to paste in here a question that I want to ask it. I want to ask it to identify the top 3 anomalies year to date, actual budget last year, or relationships that appear unusual or inconsistent. And then for each of those anomalies, explain why it stands out, what might be causing it, and whether it could indicate a data issue or a business issue. So I'm going to go ahead and ask this of Solver Copilot. Give it a second here to think this one through. And this is a good way to just make sure that my logic, everything that I've analyzed, that I didn't miss anything critical. So if I go here, you can see, okay, it came up with 3 key areas. And if we just look here at the first one, it's telling us, hey, office supplies, we have an extreme underspend. We budgeted 50,000 and we only have actuals posted of 444. This is where it's calling out, hey, this sounds like this might be a data issue. Something potentially could be posted to the wrong department or something along those lines versus just a variance within the expenses. So this would have me then perhaps follow up with our accounting team to make sure that everything is accurately posted. So this is a great way to just have that smart, intelligent assistant that is super fast at analysis give me some insight into these areas that I may want to dig into deeper. And I can continue the conversation from here. So it doesn't end here. If I want to ask further questions and maybe have more analysis on that office supply spend, I can ask a follow-up question and then continue the conversation until I get all the information I need. So that's a quick demo of the Solver help agent and the analysis agent and how that works from a practical standpoint when you're in Solver and using that sort of in your day-to-day user experience. I'm going to go ahead here and stop sharing my screen.
Thanks, Stephanie. And as I'm switching back over here to the PowerPoint, the thing I'm thinking to myself is if office expenses are that under budget, send them to marketing. We'll find a way to spend it.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So as you just saw by Stephanie's quick demo of our Solver help agent and our analysis agent that is now available, and we have more agents coming available in the near future. If you'd like to see it more in action, we do have a full Solver Copilot tour out on our website, which once again, theme of the session today is scan the QR code because you can learn everything out there that you want to about some ideas that you might want to understand that Solver's Copilot analysis agent can answer. For example, as Stephanie was showing you, it can outline anomalies, it can provide executive summaries and provide insights and things that might be of consideration for things that might be at risk in your business. It'll help you visualize and create a chart and a table on the fly within seconds. And also do benchmarking against industry data, for example. So there's a lot of different ways that the Solver Copilot and Solver Copilot agents intelligence can be used to help you better get better insight and better intelligent insight into your data. And obviously, when it comes to data or into AI, data is everything. And so we also have another item that is not necessarily specific to AI, but we have another way to make sure that all of your data is getting together. Not only does Solver have a data warehouse that we host all of our data, so you can bring in your ERP data for financial, but you can bring in CRM data, you can bring in HR data, Excel files, you name it. You can bring about just about any data you think is important to your business into our data warehouse. Now you can also bring in and connect the Solver or the Microsoft Fabric to Solver with our latest integration. So we announced this launch in October, and Stephanie's going to talk a little bit more about that, what that means for customers, since data is so important to our strategy with AI and to your strategy too, to make sure that you have good insights. And so once again, scan the QR code if you want to learn more about that, and I will turn it over here to Stephanie to talk a little bit more about our Fabric integration.
Yes, and this is something that internally, a lot of us at Solver, especially on the consulting side, we've been really excited about this, working with our customers. We've gotten really wonderful feedback because we now support a direct integration with Microsoft Fabric. So that includes things like Lakehouse, your SQL endpoints, Synapse, anything that you have in Fabric. And a lot of customers, especially Dynamics 365 customers, you are using this as that central analytics layer. So now Solver can connect in directly to that without any sort of custom integration work needed and bring that into Solver so that you can consolidate that into your single source of truth with all of your reporting, planning, analytics data in one place. So this is just a great solution to make things much more simpler, much more streamlined, much less custom, and to really enhance the experience for anyone that's using Microsoft Fabric, which is a lot of folks out there right now. So this is something that we're definitely very excited to announce, and I think a big leap forward for that ease of use and connectivity.
Absolutely. And on top of that, when we cover industries, which I'll let you talk about a little more, being able to bring in data from everything is key, right?
Yes, data is key. And of course, every industry has different data sources, and it's going to be a little bit different, sort of what's needed, what the priorities are. So these are the 8 industries that Solver has a industry specific solution and an industry specialist in-house for, right? And if you look through each of those individual industries, you can see that there's unique challenges that every single industry addresses. One thing that we're very excited about is we are actually releasing 2 new industry solutions. So that's for supply chain management. That is our manufacturing and our distribution industry solutions. And those we are releasing within the next week. And that's had a lot of development and time and effort going into there. But you can see very specifically, of course, manufacturing has its own needs, distribution has its own needs, as does every industry. So we're excited to be able to support those industries and their unique requirements with our industry solution.
Yeah, for example, like nonprofit, they might have a separate grant solution that they need to bring
Yeah,
the data in from, or construction might have a project solution, right? So
exactly.
each of these industries has different pieces of data that may not be within their financial platform or even in their CRM platform that we can help tie all together with our data warehouse and now also with the Fabric integration.
Yep.
So if you are a partner watching today, we are doing our partner launch, as Stephanie mentioned, next Tuesday, December 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific. And so we've included a QR code for you to be able to register for that. And this is available for Solver partners. So if you happen to register and you're not, we will send you a note and reach out to you about potentially partnering with us in the future so you can have access to that information. But definitely do scan that QR code and learn more about our next launch and next industry release. I also want to make sure that before we end today, that we talk a little bit about Solver and our G2 recognition. We have Had a lot of customers out there talking about Solver and what we do and the business challenges that we solve for them. And I'm not sure why it keeps going back and forth, so I'm just going to move my mouse there. But obviously, customers and what they say matters most at the end of the day. And we are very proud to be a leader in FP&A on G2. But you are more than welcome to go out and check out our profile and hear firsthand from our customers what we do to help them every day. So last but not least, as you see on the QR code on the back of my screen and now on your screen as well, if you want to learn more about Solver and Solver Copilot and see it in action and discover what it can do for you, you can scan this QR code and go out there and learn more. And today, before we end things, we are going to leave you with one more video on how Solver is revolutionizing XFP&A with AI. And we hope you enjoyed meeting with Stephanie and I today. And Amy, thanks again for inviting Solver to talk today about AI because it is a buzzworthy conversation. So I'll turn on the video here in a minute.
Yes, it is.
And if you're wondering, yes, we do use AI in all aspects of our business because this video was also made with AI.
I was going to say that. AI in all shapes and forms,
All
right?
shapes and forms. That is correct.
All right. Well, thank you for, wrapping up the year and what's the buzz and sharing all of your buzzworthy information in regards to AI. And I know you're not ending here and we're going to continue into 2026, I'm sure. And everybody will be also adding AI, I'm sure, in some way, shape, or form to their business processes, to solutions, to their ERPs, whatever it may be. So very excited to have you wrap up our conversations with AI. And thank you all for joining us today, whether you're here on Zoom or you're joining us on LinkedIn Live. Very, very thankful for you to be here and stay tuned for more What's the Buzz in 2026. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Amy.